Hello, my loves. This is Heidi Raquel with your April soul message. I've just stepped out of the full moon healing ceremony in Libra. March 28th is the day that I'm recording this. So I'm in a little bit of that energy, recording this ahead of time because I need to for the schedule that I have going on this week. If you have not heard about it, not signed up, not participated, and you're interested, you can find it at my website, doublemagenta.com, and go to the events tab, and it's currently at the top, but it won't be for long because I have another event offering coming up soon, which I will talk about at the end. So I just want to bring this in because it is the full moon today, and I just finished the ceremony. The card that we got was Aletheia, the truth, and it's so perfect. It's like a doorway. It's like an offering that has opened up for us right before we're about to come into April, and it's woven so beautifully with what's coming up today that I just want to bring that in. So this one I'm calling Weaving Anew, and it's because when I tuned in to check into the energies for April, what I saw was we have cleared the space out of that circle that we had last month. I think it was called defining our circle. And it's like we've done the definition work. And now when I asked about April, what I saw was this image of weaving like macrame from the center in a circle all the way out. And it's like we are having to intentionally weave our energy. We are solely 100% responsible for the energy that happens inside of that container. A friend of mine used to have a sign inside of her front door that says, "You are responsible for the energy that you bring to this place." And it's so beautiful. That's exactly where it is. There's this, kind of sticky, it's almost like, I want to say tangibility, that's not the right word, but there's a sticky duality here that is, we aren't responsible for the things that happen to us, the traumas, the wounds, the situations or whatever that happen to us by someone else or, from the outside. But we are responsible in and as much as we carry that energy forward. And this is what this whole month is calling us to do. It's like we've anchored our circles, and the full moon that is here today is highlighting all of the dust and the debris that is still left in the room, and is saying, hey, if you don't clean this up, it is going to get louder, it is going to get harder, it is going to get more difficult. If you don't start owning and seeing these things that are here and cleaning them up and reclaiming, owning the responsibility that you have in participating in whatever is going on in your circle, owning that and shifting the energy. So it's like the foundation of the earth has a crack in it now, and the light is coming through. And we can't help but see what's in the shadows. And so it's like we can continue to go along and pretend that we don't see it. But it is going to get more and more painful, more and more challenging, more and more difficult. The sirens are going to get louder. It's like I talk about in energy healing, like, the physical body maps to the energy body. So by the time something has gotten to your physical body, it has been there a very long time already. And the physical body is like an alarm system that's going off and saying, hey, over here, like, you got to pay attention to this. Why haven't you taken care of this yet? So, and I want to say it's not our fault on one hand, because the whole of society has trained us to do this. It has trained us to look at the outside and focus on the outside instead of the inside, the external instead of the internal, the masculine instead of the feminine. It's like we're supposed to look at everything that's physical and linear, and I can pick it up, I know it's real, but we have negated all of the magic that lives in the feminine, all of the space of the unseen. The place where art and music and beauty and dance, like all of that stuff gets created there. And we are being asked to weave together the wisdom of the feminine with the action of the masculine. We're not letting go of the masculine and we're not shaming it, but we're also not shaming the feminine, and we need both of them to come into congruency with ourselves, with our body and our spirit. And, you know, the hard truth, the hard reality that's coming up this month is if you choose not to deal with it, you have to recognize that it is a choice that you are making. No action or no choice is also a choice. And there's this energy of like a spark of creativity has been offered. And it's like, okay, are you going to risk being brave enough? In the full moon circle, I talked about this essence of the black sheep, like being seen, and how we always want to hide because we don't want to be separated. We don't want to be outed. But the truth is that raising our freak flag and being our independent self actually is the antidote to the wound of separation, because once you start really claiming in the world, this is who I am, then your people can find you. The like people can find you, but otherwise you're just pretending to be someone else, sitting in a room, feeling completely isolated and alone in a room full of people. I mean, I know we're not doing a lot of that right now, but energetically, in a room full of people, it's like you're as lonely as you've ever been because you aren't actually being yourself. And so it's like figuring out where are you pretending and letting it go. But it's up to us, and we have to weave a new story. We have to weave a new dream. We have to bring the dream that's inside of us outside. So there's this, you know, bringing the internal to the external instead of, you know, over dramatizing or over making the external important. So I was also hearing, if you have not gotten your boundaries completely shored up, I'm talking about empath narcissist relationships. I'm talking about the people that drain you. I'm talking about the people that appear to be giving but are taking at the same time. It's like done with all of that. Like that is so illuminated now that we can't not see it. So there is time to shore up your boundaries. There is still time to clean up the debris that's in this room. But patience and tolerance for it is waning. So we're just going to get sick of our own patterns if we don't, you know, knock it off with all of this. And so there's this codependent narcissist relationship energy that's leaving. And I wrote, the weight of carrying someone else's thing will weigh you down. Like it's just going to become more and more and more apparent that if you choose to carry someone else's garbage, it is going to weigh you down, and it's going to keep you from your goal. It's going to keep you from doing what you're here to do, and it's going to keep you from moving along your path, you know, in a way that feels nourishing and kind and fulfilling and calm and, you know, honoring of who you are. And so another way to put this is that we're being asked to take up the rightful seat of our throne. And if we're not going to do it, I talked about this last month, someone is always going to come in to take it up. And so, you know, if you recognize that you're not in the center of your circle, if you recognize that you're not sitting on the throne of your own life, then you better look alive and look around and find out who is and remove them hastily. I think I talked about last month too, but it's still here. The energy of the Magician card in the tarot, it's like the table's there, we've got all the tools there, and now we're learning how to use them and put them together and wield them. So there's an energy that's present in the feminine more so than the masculine, I think, but it's this energy. I mean, even if you look anatomically, like the feminine are the receivers of energy and the masculine are the givers. And what I see over and over and over again in individual healing sessions, it comes up all the time. Most of the people that come to me are really ready, and they're ready to move, and they're willing. But I even use a mantra at the beginning of the session. I'm open, ready, and willing to receive. And they have to state this out loud. And the reason for this is because you can come and have a session with me, but if you are not ready to move the energy, if you are not ready to receive, if you are, resistant to the work, or you don't believe in it or in some way or whatever, and there's a resistance, every time, the energy will only move in as much as the client is willing to receive it and is ready to take it up. So I can see something for them, but it's like, I'm only given as much information as they can take up. And so if someone is really open and ready, it's going to be like a really heavy session and stuff will just move through. And if there's resistance, every time it's like, okay, I'll only get this much instead of, so much more. So it really is about your own willingness and your, how open are you to the work? How open are you to magic? How open are you to the feminine and willing to receive? And I'll get into that in a minute when I get into the oil of the month. So a couple of the suggestions for this month are tending to your vibration. So this is what I'm talking about. Like, we are becoming more and more aware that energy and our vibration is tantamount to our well-being. And we have to start, I talk about self-care all the time. It's like we have to tend to our vibration. If you have not checked out biofieldtuning.com yet for a sonic slider, totally recommend that as a way to kind of keep your vibration up, and you can do it first thing in the morning. And if I had it here, I would show you what it looks like, but I don't have it at the table here with me. So that's one way. I'm sure I talked about other things in the blog. I don't even remember what the suggestions were, but tending to your vibration, water. Water is the conductor of energy. We're moving a lot. We're processing a lot. You want to just like really saturate yourself right now and make sure that you're staying hydrated. And then rest also, we're being like energetically tuned up in a rapid way. It's really tiring, and we have to give ourselves the space for rest and relaxation and the space to literally space out and look out the window and do nothing. We have to give ourselves that space. That's the feminine, the receiving energy. And then that's how we nourish ourselves and have enough energy to go out into the world and to give and do the masculine. We have both inside of us. So the oil of the month that I was shown, this is the first month since I started doing this in January that we do not have a citrus oil. So what I was shown was Whisper. This is a blend from doTERRA specifically. And I wish I should have brought the bottle with me to tell you what's in it. But it is the energy of femininity, but more than that, it's the energy of receiving. If you have a difficult time, as many women do right now, because the feminine has been shamed for such a long time. Many people, I see this in healing sessions energetically, have literally packed their energy up that should live on their left-hand side, and like in a suitcase brought it over, and all of it is living on their right-hand side. And it's like the feminine energy has to, in order to even survive, it has to present itself in a masculine way. So I was just talking about this in the moon ceremony, but there is a way that, when people, well, there's kind of twofold about this, but when people call women bitches, and it's like my husband always says, if someone's calling you a bitch, you're doing your job, because there's a way that you in order to be your real, whole, authentic self, you have to hold both. You have to be willing to like put a stake in the ground and claim your territory and be who you really are. And at the same time, this connotation of like, oh, she's a bitch, because what we associate with that is like, she's too strong, she's too masculine, she's too forceful. And so in many ways, women have had to become like men and live on this right side of their body in order to survive. And we're being called right now to move back over and fully reclaim the feminine. And the feminine is the energy of receptivity. It's allowing, it's dropping the high guard that keeps everything out. The one who is terrified and boundaried, and a lot of women that have rough edged like that, it's because they're so soft and tender on the inside that they need this heavy shield to kind of protect themselves, and they haven't been shown how to do that in a feminine way. So we're being called back into that now. So Whisper is the energy of the month. Again, I'm recording this early, so doTERRA reveals their free oil of the month for LRP order or members on the 1st of the month. So I won't know that until April 1st, but I'll post that in the blog. And then the last thing that I want to share is just an announcement of a new offering that I'm doing. So week before last, we had the last women's circle. We closed it out. I'm not doing it anymore. And the reason is because we've got the new and full moon sacred healing ceremonies that I'm offering every month. Those are either $11 a la carte, they're $10 if you subscribe to one or the other, or they come down to $9 a piece if you subscribe to both. So you can find those again on my website, doublemagenta.com, on the events tab or /events. And then the newest thing, I'm going to be announcing this and putting this live on my website on April 1st, along with announcing it in my newsletter. I am starting a intuitive mentorship program. And this is going to be a chance for, it's kind of like Women's Circle on steroids. It is going to be a closed group of only 8 women, and it will be a 9-month program. So I'm hoping to start April 24. If everyone that is called to join is able to start that day, we'll start that day. If Saturdays don't work and we need a different day, we'll adjust accordingly. But it's going to be a 9-month deep dive into the intuitive tools that I use for connecting with my guides, staying grounded, keeping my shit together, hearing the wisdom of my guides and all of that. But I want to make it very clear in this announcement, and I tried to talk about this in the newsletter and on the website post too. It is not a program for people who are like, oh, I want to learn, occult studies because I'm into future casting, or, forecasting for the future and I want to know something that I shouldn't know. Like I don't use any of these tools in that way. I use it for congruence of self and spirit. This is something that has taken me 12 years to learn on my own, and I'm going to attempt to share this wisdom and the way that it's come to me in a 9-month period. So we will meet once a month for about 3 to 4 hours. We'll see how long we can go, how long we can tolerate at one sitting, and we'll do that for 9 months, and then there will be a potential retreat at the end for those that joined. So again, it's limited to 8 people. This will go public on my website April 1st, and also in my newsletter. There will be an early bird code until the 8th or the 9th of April. On the 10th of April, it will go up to regular price, and then we will start hopefully on the 24th. So if you're interested in that, you can check that out at my website too. But again, it will not be public. It will not be live until April 1st. So I've given some time for that so that people that are really interested can grab it right away. Okay, let's see what the card is for April. This has been a really intense day energetically. Oh, we've got 2. That's awesome. Okay, let's look at this. That's interesting. So we've got the cave, and we've also got the offering. So this is absolutely awesome. I'm just going to take a second with these before I read them. Yeah, this is really awesome. Okay, so the cave, like we've been in the cave for a long time. So when I first look at this, I go, what do you mean we're in the cave still? But what I'm seeing is we've got the cave kind of with the offering side by side. So it's like we've been in the cave and now we're being called to come out of it and offer our new energy, offer our gifts, offer our, like, look, I mean, this is perfect for the beginning of the mentorship program is starting this month. Okay, let's start with the cave because it feels like that's more important. It's like we're going from the cave to the offering. So, sorry, this is going to be a long one because we've got 2 cards to read now. Okay, the cave, the dark, the portal, the interior. Those who are fortunate enough to find and enter the cave are forever changed. It is a place of potent power, acting both as portal to another realm and a space for sacred ritual and initiation. Also perfect for the mentorship. The cave is a place to return for meaningful retreat where one can see the true self in the darkness. I mean, is that not what I just talked about? the light that's coming in, that's shining the darkness, shining on the darkness that's in the corners. And you got to clean it up, man. Whatever you're not attending to, clean up the relationships, clean up the space, clean up the body, all of it. In esoteric teachings, the cave is known to reside in the center of the heart. Within its walls, the whispers, there's the oil, of compassion and self-understanding can be heard. Yet because of its mystery and power, many of us fear the cave and never try to find it. We busy ourselves in the bright lights of the city while the cavernous and dimly lit chamber calls out to us in the night. So the busyness is that masculine external energy that I talked about, and the cavernous dimly lit chamber is the feminine, the dark, what's inside. Where is your cave? You already know. Return to it and tend the fire. When light, the sacred center within. When dark, withdrawn, isolation, hiding. Okay, I'm not going to read the rest of that. Slowly and steadily, crystals of enormous magnitude grow within the dark confines of caves. Let the cave teach you patience. Envision yourself as an old sage in a cave. What amenities do you need? What draws you even closer to the cave within the cave? So it's going all the way into the depths. All right, let's see about the offering. Okay, let's find it. Where is it? There we go. The gift, the present, the sacrifice. So that could also be the presence that sits inside of the cave. Unlike many of the other cards in the deck, the offering carries a clear as day message and a call to action. That's that same action energy that's here for April. As you may have guessed, it is time for something to be given and given up for the sake of the bigger picture. If nothing comes to mind immediately, though it's likely it will, take time in meditation to consider what must be offered and who is to receive it. It's likely you'll feel attachment and hesitancy. You'll make excuses, but recognize the link between the word sacrifice and the word sacred. One leads to the other. When we offer up something to the greater good, we lighten our load and become more able to serve. That's like lightening the garbage of the narcissist or other people's crap that we're carrying around. Imagine for a moment if you were to offer your whole self unconditionally to the world. For now, start small. So this is right in the territory of what I was even feeling about offering my mentorship. Just today, I was saying to myself, is it too fast? Do I need more time between the close of Women's Circle and the start of this new thing? And I'm hearing no, the energy is here, it's teaming, it's time to do it, it's time to come together in collaboration. It's time together to come together in right relationship and communion and sacred communion with other people. And it's I have to offer it. I have to do the offering. I'm not in charge of who hears it, who grabs it, who's called to it, who shows up. I can only provide the offering, the container. It says, when light, generosity, donation, volunteering. When dark, giving with expectations and keeping track. Go deeper. Odin's sacrifice of his eye in Norse mythology. Let's see. Once a week, Gandhi gave up speaking for a day, offering himself to divine silence. The offering can come in all shapes and sizes. If there is a gift you've been thinking of giving someone special, now is the time. Well, my gift is the mentorship program and the full moon ceremonies. If you've never, connected with my work outside of my videos, come to the moon ceremonies. They're $11. It is a steal. It's like getting an individual healing session, but on the group level for $11. It's couldn't be more worth it. So again, we have the cave and the offering. So both of those, and I love that there's the light inside the cave and then the light of the moon is still guiding the offering. And it's about giving, and it's also about giving up and being really fierce about what you're willing to take and what you're not. And who cares if they call you a bitch, because it means you're doing your job. And if you're gruff at first and you're not sure how to do it, you got to just do it, and you'll learn as you go. You'll be able to heal it. You'll be able to fix it. You'll adjust it as you go, right? It's better to do it than to wait and hold on to this beautiful gift or this thing that you have. And it's You know, and in the moon ceremony, I was talking about this teeming energy of like, you know, the child that is at once afraid and excited. My husband always says that energy of being afraid is the same energy in your physical body as being excited. It's just what label are you giving it? And if you switch it and you give it the label of excitement, maybe that will help you get over the fear of coming out and being seen. You know, and a lot of my clients specifically, we are the wounded healers. We are the black sheep of the family. We're the ones that have been ostracized. So we are so afraid to raise our freak flag and show who we really are for fear of isolation. But again, I think I said this already. It's like the antidote to that isolation, or to, you know, the wound of that separation, is raising your freak flag and being who you are, because you can then finally find your people. All right. Have a wonderful month. Wishing you well. Namaste.